Hello everyone, welcome to your English class. Dear students, today we will do the explanation of Unit 9, Crow Boy, Part 1. On the first day of our village school in Japan, there was a boy missing. He was found hiding in the dark space under the schoolhouse floor. None of us knew him, but we immediately nicknamed him Chibi, as he was very small. Chibi was a strange boy. Now, here, the narrator of the story is saying that on the very first day of our uh, school in village in Japan, there was a boy who went missing at school, and they found him hiding under the dark space. What is the meaning of dark space under the schoolhouse floor? It means the space between the raised platform of the school house floor and the ground. Here, the narrator also says that they did not know him, but immediately means at once. Nicknamed means gave another name to joke about. Here, the nickname was given to joke about his height. They nicknamed him as Chibi. What is the meaning of Chibi? Chibi means tiny boy. The narrator says that Chibi was a very strange boy. He would watch the ceiling or his wooden desktop with great interest for hours. He would study a patch of cloth on a boy's shoulder. He would look out of the window all round the year and find delightful surprise even when it rained. Now, here in this para, the narrator is saying that Chibi was not interested in studying. He did not pay attention to his lessons which were being taught in classroom. Instead, he used to watch ceilings, desktop, and even he was so much lost that he used to watch students shoulders, the cloth over the shoulders on the students dresses, and he used to stare at them. We can say that he used to continuously look at something and thinking something or imagining something within his mind. The narrator also says that he all round the year he did nothing but looked outside the window, and he was delightful to see the raindrops in the rainy season. On the playground, if he closed his eyes, Chibi could hear many different sounds near and far. He could hold and watch insects and grubs which we would not even look at. Now, here the narrator says that when the narrator and other students used to play at that time, he used to close his eyes and he was able to hear many different sounds from near and far. And he would watch the insects, and he even used to hold grubs which the other students would not even look at. We left Chibi alone. He trudged to school and went back home on his own every day. Now, here the word trudged means walked with slow and heavy steps. He used to come to school alone and in a very unwilling manner. The narrator is saying that all the students and he himself left Chibi alone at that time because they found him strange. And so 5 years passed till we reached the sixth grade, the last class in school. Our new teacher, Mr. Isob, was a friendly man with a kind smile. Now, here the narrator says that in this way, 5 years passed, and in the sixth year, they reached the sixth grade, and that was the last class of the school. In that year, a new teacher came whose name was Mr. Isob, and he also says that he was a very friendly man with a kind smile. He frequently took us to the hilltop behind the school. While we played, he often spent time talking to Chibi. He was pleased to learn that Chibi knew all the places where the wild grapes and wild potatoes grew. He was amazed to find how much Chibi knew about all the flowers in our class garden. Later that year, Chibi appeared on the stage at the talent show. We could not believe our eyes. What can he do up there? We wondered. Now, here, the narrator of the story is saying that while um, Mr. Isob took them to the hilltop while they used to play with other students, while the narrator of the story used to play with other students, Mr. Isob used to talk to Chibi. He used to talk about nature, and he was very amazed to hear that Chibi knew so many places, and he was amazed that Chibi knew how much about the flowers which grew in their class garden. And the narrator also says that in in that same year, Chivi appeared on the stage at the talent show, and the narrator and other students were amazed. They were wondering what Chibi was going to do on the stage, and they were not able to believe themselves that this was actually happening in front of their eyes. Then Mr. Isop announced that Chibi was going to imitate the voices of crows. Voices of crows? First, Chibi imitated the voices of newly hatched crows. Then he made the mother crow's voice. Then he imitated the father crow's voice. Now, here the narrator is telling us that when Chibi appeared on the stage, at first they were wondering that what Chibi was going to do there, what Chibi was going to perform. But afterwards, when Mr. Isop came, he announced that Chibi was going to imitate the voice of crows. What is the meaning of imitate? Imitate means make the same sound. Everybody was shocked to hear that Chibi was going to actually imitate the voices of crows. They were wondering how it could be possible. Then, when Chibi started performing, firstly he imitated the voice of newly hatched crows. Means he imitated the voice of baby crows, and then he imitated mother crow's voice. Then he imitated father crow's voice. He showed how crows cry early in the morning and when they are happy. At the end, to imitate a crow on an old tree, Chibi made very special sounds deep down in his throat. Quad, quad. We were struck with wonder. Now, here the narrator of the story is saying that at the end, to imitate a crow on an older tree, Chibi made a very special sound from deep down his throat. He made a sound like quat quat, and everybody was struck with wonder. What is the meaning of struck with wonder? Surprised and delighted. Our minds were taken to the far and lonely mountains side from which Chibi probably came to school. Now, here in the last line in this para, it's being said that when when everybody heard this, when the narrator heard this sound, he he was taken aback to the far and lonely mountainsides from where Chibi came to school. Now let's move on to our next para. Mr. Isob explained that Chibi had learned those calls for 6 years while leaving his home for school at dawn and arriving home at sunset. Each one of his cries cried. We realized how wrongly we had treated Chibi. After school was over, we sometimes met Chibi in the village, but nobody called him Chibi anymore. We all called him Crow Boy when we greeted him. Crow Boy would nod and smile as he stretched his shoulders proudly and set off for his home in the far mountain side, and from around the turn of the mountain road would come a crow call, the happy one. Now, here in this paragraph, it's being said that Mr. Isob explained that how Chibi learned to imitate the voices of crows. He explained that Chibi learned those calls for 6 years while he was leaving from his home for school at dawn and arriving home at sunset. He used to learn those voices of crows while uh, going going to school and while returning back home. Each one of the students were surprised, and here it is also being mentioned that the narrator is saying that the narrator realized how wrongly he treated Chibi, and the others also realized it. And after school, the narrator is saying that after school they used to meet Chibi sometimes in the village, and at that time nobody called him Chibi anymore. They gave him a new nickname. They called him Crow Boy. And when Chibi used to listen to his new name, he would nod with smile and stretched out his shoulders with proud, and then he used to set off for his home in the faraway mountainside, and around the turn of the mountain road the crow boy used to give a crow call, and that was a very happy one. It means that the crow boy used to imitate the voice of crow, showing happiness. That's all for today. I hope you all find this video helpful. Thank you and have a good day.